Apple is a company that doesn't have the most resources of everybody in the world.
There is a saying, how you do one thing is how you do everything. Yes. Steve Jobs is a name that evokes admiration and reverence in the realm of technology and innovation. An entrepreneurial genius, a visionary leader, and a creative genius who revolutionized the way we live, work, and communicate through the products and services he created. But before he became the co-founder and CEO of Apple Inc., he was just a curious and ambitious boy growing up in California. Steve Jobs was born on February 24, 1955, to Abdul Fattah Jandali and Joanne Schiebel. Not long after, he was placed for adoption. Paul and Clara Jobs, a middle-class couple from Mountain View, California, adopted him. Jobs was a shy and introverted child, often struggling to connect with his adoptive parents. Steve's personal work ethic and worldview were profoundly influenced by the diligent, practical, and economical characteristics exhibited by the family. As a child, Steve Jobs was known for his intelligence, curiosity, and rebellious spirit. He often got into trouble at school for challenging authority and questioning the status quo. Despite his struggles academically, he was a voracious reader and a quick learner, showing a keen interest in technology and electronics from a young age. At Homestead High School in Cupertino, California, Jobs' academic struggles began to manifest. He was a bright student, but his attention span was short, and he often found himself disinterested in traditional classroom settings. His curiosity and creativity were better served by tinkering with electronics and exploring the world of art and design. Jobs' lack of motivation was also compounded by his difficult relationships with teachers and classmates. He was known to be argumentative and stubborn, often clashing with authority figures who didn't understand his unconventional approach to learning. These conflicts would continue to haunt him throughout his life, influencing his interactions with colleagues and partners. Despite these challenges, Jobs' fascination with technology and design persisted. He began attending meetings of the Homebrew Computer Club, a group of enthusiasts who shared their passion for personal computing. It was here that he met Steve Wozniak, a fellow tech enthusiast who would become his business partner and lifelong friend. One of the most defining moments of Steve Jobs' childhood was when he met his biological sister, Mona Simpson, in his late teens. The two quickly formed a close bond, and Jobs discovered that he shared many qualities with his biological parents, including a love for design, aesthetics, and innovation. This discovery would later influence his approach to business and product development at Apple. Another important figure in Steve Jobs' childhood was his father, Paul Jobs, who introduced him to the world of electronics and mechanics. Paul taught Steve how to tinker with gadgets, sparking a passion for technology that would eventually lead him to pursue a career in the tech industry. He also instilled in his son the value of hard work, perseverance, and attention to detail, traits that would become hallmarks of Jobs' leadership style. The turning point came when Jobs enrolled at Reed College in Portland, Oregon. Disillusioned with the traditional education system, he dropped out after one semester, citing the indoctrination he felt in classes that emphasized conformity over creativity. This decision shocked his family and friends, but Jobs was determined to carve out his own path and pursue his passion for technology on his own terms. Jobs continued to audit classes, including calligraphy, which would later inspire the elegant typography of Apple products. When we think of Steve Jobs, we often picture him as the revolutionary leader who brought us the iPhone, MacBook, and so much more. But what many people fail to recognize are the immense challenges he faced while building his empire. From the very beginning, Jobs faced adversity. Starting Apple Computer in his parents' garage in 1976, Jobs struggled to find investors who believed in his vision. Many were skeptical of his revolutionary ideas and doubted his ability to compete with existing tech giants. But Jobs was not one to back down from a challenge. He was determined to create products that would change the world, and he refused to let anyone stand in his way. However, this determination often led to clashes with his own team, as Jobs was known for his demanding and sometimes abrasive leadership style. As Apple began to grow, Jobs faced even more challenges. He had to navigate the complexities of managing a rapidly expanding company while also dealing with competition from other tech giants. This pressure took a toll on Jobs, leading to periods of self-doubt and introspection. Despite these challenges, Jobs never wavered in his commitment to creating the best products possible. He pushed his team to think outside the box and to constantly strive for excellence. This drive for perfection sometimes led to setbacks, such as the failure of the Lisa computer in 1983. But Jobs never gave up, learning from his mistakes and using them to fuel his next success. However, in 1985, Jobs was forced out of Apple after a power struggle with the board of directors. Undeterred, he went on to found Next Inc., a computer platform development company, and also acquired the struggling animation studio Pixar. Jobs' tenure at Next was marked by innovation, including the creation of the Next Step operating system, which would later serve as the foundation for Apple's Mac OS. In 1996, Apple acquired Next, leading to Jobs' return to the company he co-founded. As interim CEO, Jobs spearheaded a dramatic turnaround at Apple, streamlining the product line, forging strategic partnerships with Microsoft and other tech giants, and charting a new direction for the company. Under his leadership, Apple released iconic products like the iMac, the MacBook, and the iPod, which revolutionized the music industry with its sleek design and user-friendly interface. The iPod era solidified Jobs' reputation as a visionary leader who could successfully marry technology with consumer appeal. The introduction of the iTunes Store in 2003 further bolstered Apple's dominance in the digital music market and set the stage for the company's foray into mobile devices with the iPhone. In 2007, Jobs unveiled the iPhone, a game-changing device that combined a phone, music player, and internet browser in a single sleek package. The iPhone's innovative multi-touch interface, app ecosystem, and seamless integration with other Apple products set the standard for the modern smartphone industry. Within months of its launch, the iPhone became a global sensation, sparking a smartphone revolution that would forever change how we communicate and interact with technology. The success of the iPhone solidified Jobs' status as a tech luminary and propelled Apple to new heights of success. The company continued to launch groundbreaking products like the iPad, the Apple Watch, and the MacBook Air, cementing its reputation as an innovator in the tech world. Steve Jobs was more than just a tech executive. He was a visionary thinker, a design maven, and a relentless perfectionist who pushed the boundaries of what was possible. His zeal for innovation, his commitment to excellence, and his ability to anticipate and shape consumer trends set him apart as one of the most iconic figures in the history of technology. Jobs' impact on the world of technology and beyond cannot be overstated. His influence can be seen in every iPhone, iPad, and MacBook, in every sleek, minimalist store design, and in every advertisement that touts the latest Apple product. His legacy lives on in the thousands of employees he inspired, the millions of consumers he delighted, and the countless entrepreneurs he inspired to dream big and think different. The passing of Steve Jobs, the co-founder and former CEO of Apple, sent shockwaves around the world in 2011. The tech industry was left reeling, grappling to comprehend the sudden loss of a man who had revolutionized the way we interact with technology. But beneath the surface of this sudden departure lay a complex web of medical mysteries, personal struggles, and untold stories that would ultimately lead to his demise. In the years leading up to his death, Jobs' health had been deteriorating at an alarming rate. The once indefatigable entrepreneur, known for his demanding work ethic and unyielding drive, was forced to confront the harsh realities of his own mortality. The exact nature of his illness remained a closely guarded secret, but whispers began to circulate about his struggles with pancreatic cancer. As Jobs' health began to decline, he became increasingly reclusive, opting to take extended leaves of absence from Apple and disappearing from public view. Those who knew him well described a man beset by physical and emotional pain, struggling to come to terms with the fragility of his own existence. His obsession with perfectionism, which had once driven him to greatness, now seemed to consume him, as he became fixated on finding a cure for his illness. In 2009, Jobs underwent surgery for a rare form of pancreatic cancer known as pancreatic neuroendocrine tumor, PNET. The surgery was deemed successful, but the disease would continue to ravage his body over the next 2 years. Jobs' intense focus on Apple's products and operations seemed to be a coping mechanism, a way to distract himself from the existential threat posed by his illness. Despite his remarkable recovery from surgery, Jobs' health continued to deteriorate. He became increasingly reliant on alternative therapies and experimental treatments, seeking out unconventional methods to combat the disease. His relationship with his family and friends grew strained as he became withdrawn and isolated, unable to share his true fears and anxieties with those closest to him. In the months leading up to his death, Jobs' condition had taken a turn for the worse. His weight loss was pronounced, and he appeared gaunt and frail in public appearances. Those who saw him described a man who was struggling to maintain his legendary intensity and charisma, as if he was fighting against an invisible foe that threatened to extinguish the very essence of who he was. On October 5, 2011, Steve Jobs passed away at his Palo Alto home surrounded by his family. The news sent shockwaves around the world, prompting an outpouring of tributes and condolences from fans and fellow business leaders alike. As we reflect on his life and legacy, it becomes clear that Steve Jobs' final battle was not just against cancer, but against the fragility of human existence itself. In the end, Steve Jobs' story is one of both triumph and tragedy. A man who revolutionized the world through his innovative genius was also consumed by his own mortality. As we remember him today, we are reminded that even the most extraordinary among us are not immune to the capricious nature of fate. The shadows of genius can be both awe-inspiring and devastating, leaving behind only whispers of what could have been.